All right, it is Saturday 13 September 2025. I'm setting up for Cafe Enigma with Roger Hansen. I'll be getting them up here and rolling here in just a few minutes. Let me make sure that I got all of the connections set up and ready to go, and we're streaming on all the platforms that we need to. Hope everybody had a great weekend or is having a great weekend. Appreciate each and every one of you. Looks like it's going to be a nice night tonight. So, checking all the platforms, making sure we're good to go. Oh, yeah. So far, everything's looking okay and ready. Checkity check, check, check. We're going to have a great night tonight. We're all getting this going. Making sure. I'd like to welcome everybody in. Welcome, welcome, folks. Almost there. I'll be calling the group up here in just a sec. Yeah, and I'll make sure that I have all my players turned off. Get everything up and rolling. Gonna get them doggies rolling. Rawhide. Oh yeah. Let me call up the group. Get everybody situated in that group. Looks like everything's running and rolling like it should. Hello, hello, hello. Anybody there? Hello.
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good.
Okay. And Sonia.
Hello.
Hi, Sonia.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
That was
Hello,
awesome.
hello.
That was awesome. That music ended like just maybe a minute or two just before all of it was set up and ready to go.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And then the last song I did was creepy. It was a creepy song.
Creepy.
Yeah, like love is kind of creepy with creep, or something like that, right?
Well, no,
Spooky.
this was
That's what I was thinking. Spooky.
spooky.
Hey,
There we
Nance.
go.
How you doing, Nance?
Nance is here.
I'm hanging in there.
Hey, hey.
Oh, hey, hey.
Hey,
Tonight,
hey.
tonight is going to be off the chain. I've got a plan.
I'm getting
A
an
plan?
echo from someone. I think it's from
It's
you,
Sonya.
Sonya. You have a
Me.
player open, or you have.
Oh, yeah, it is me. It is me.
It's always Sonya. It always is Sonya.
Yeah.
I've got a plan though.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
I'm gonna do the intro, and then I'm gonna bring out the topic. I'm gonna let Sonya do her take on the topic first, but then I want her to pass it over to you, Nancy, because I want you to go into the stuff that you've been wanting to talk about Blue Beam and all that.
Okie dokie.
Right.
Does that sound good?
It's perfect.
Hey, Mark.
I'm game. Never.
Well, because it was like I said before, I mean, you don't really ever get a chance to get in there and say that stuff, you know what I mean, and all of it before it goes in another direction. So I just want to have you specifically say it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. And right now, of all times, it is very pertinent to talk about Blue Beam.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there's Mark
Yeah,
Edwards.
that Mark Edworthy guy. I'll be right back. I'm gonna top my coffee off. And
I'm gonna do that too. Now watch Mark Edworthy. He's
He's pretty slick.
He's slick.
Yeah, slick. Is that the word
See,
for it?
He's even got his camera off. Oh, you're okay with showing your pretty face for Nancy,
Maybe.
but you won't do it on Cafe Enigma? Is that what you're saying?
Give me a second. Give me a sec. There.
Oh, okay.
there he be.
There he be. No, kind of sway that hair back a little bit so the women can see it.
Let me move these monitors first.
Gotta get. just.
Mark has become a sex appeal.
He has.
He's
Stop it.
man meat. That's what I nicknamed him that a long time ago. He's man meat.
Yeah, whatever.
We're going to fly him out here just so he could do a striptease for us.
I didn't say that. I did not say that, Mark.
No, not gonna happen.
No! Oh, no, I
No,
got to cancel the
right
whole
now.
event now.
I will be right back. I gotta
Well,
go
I
get
can
coffee.
charge for it, I suppose.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Yeah.
That's funny.
What time are we meant to be starting?
I
I thought
think
it
at
was
the top of the hour, right?
yeah, that's what I thought. That's, yeah.
So, Mark or Roger, did you like what I wrote about the MK Ultra in the collegiate level?
Wow, I didn't see that.
From a couple of days ago.
No, actually, I think I dropped it. I want to say I dropped it either today or yesterday in Roger's Cafe Enigma chat because I just wrote it. Basically, late Wednesday into Thursday, I was working on it, and it's a lot of information that I've gathered over the years, and just kind of, basically after what happened with Charlie, I was like, did y'all ever stop to think that they just broadened the MK Ultra system and literally imbued it into the collegiate system? Did anybody stop for just a moment to think about that? Because what we're seeing is a lot of brainwashed kids who go from very normal to very extreme in a very short period.
That is a great point, for sure.
You mix in video games and frequencies and everything else, and you have got a melting pot.
Right.
So it's I actually did a whole analysis on
Okey-dokey,
it.
I'm back.
Hey, Jahan.
Welcome back.
Okay, yeah,
Where's
I did
Vicky
see
at?
it. Yesterday, yeah. Sorry, Mom.
Me
Well,
try-
and it just, to me, it was kind of like taking something and putting it on an amplifier. If you start imbuing an MK Ultra type program into the collegiate system, number one, because the colleges are all taking government grants, it can go under the guise of national security and never be a known program. They've done it multiple times. I even cited the cases where they did it. And it's literally a brainwashing program where you're reprogramming young people in ways that are self-destructive.
I was going to say you're brainwashing young people. Isn't that what the modern education system is about anyway?
Well, it's funny
there you
because I was
go.
like, I've never seen such stupidity. I've said it earlier today. I've never seen such stupidity in my life. You have an entire party, a progressive agenda on a party, and the whole damn thing is depopulating. And it's not about depopulating the rival party. You're depopulating yourselves. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life, and they don't see it. Like they're trying to point out all the genetic idiots. You know,
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. All the folks over in Kick Chat and all the other chats. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, if you take it at its base mark, look at it. What is transgenderism? That is it's a record for depopulation because they don't reproduce. What is even homosexuality? The same sex cannot reproduce. You'd have to go to an outside source to be able to reproduce.
Unless you're frogs.
Yeah, unless you're frogs.
Yeah.
And we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
because we all know that they turned the frogs gay.
the medical tyranny, letting themselves be experimented on like guinea pigs. That's a recipe for self-destruction. I mean, it's like all of your agendas lead to your own demise, and you happily run around telling everybody how they're great agendas, but you're not taking out me. I don't believe in your agenda. You're taking yourself out. It's a suicide mission. I don't understand it. That's what I said. And again, it's all coming out of the collegiate and the high school level kids. It's like they took a whole generation and reprogrammed them.
And seeping into seeping into other areas because of these kids become business owners. They become human resource department managers. They become politicians.
But they are taken at an age. Here's the thing: you've got 12-year-old millionaires because of social media. You are taking kids when they are nowhere close to apex maturity. Half of them haven't been through any kind of hormonal changes yet, and you're putting them in adult responsibility areas, making adult decisions that they have no capabilities to make. None. Zero.
I'm trying to bring Vicky in, but she keeps dropping off.
That's probably because I told her what we're going to, Wednesday, I wanted to incorporate her theology into the show.
Yeah.
And I said, why don't we take this whole Seven Seals thing with, a lot of people saying that Charlie Kirk's assassination was the sixth seal.
No.
Why don't we incorporate, hello.
Bit early.
But it works with the sixth seal. If you actually read what it is, it does work.
Yeah.
So let's incorporate it in, let Vicky have her run at it, because she could go either way with that. And, it makes for a good show. People want to hear those paradigms right now. They want to, people are scared. That's for sure. Or angry. That's for real sure. And people want direction. So it's going to be, like I said, this is a very interesting point in the history of this country. I think it's going to get even more interesting the next week, but wait and see.
Unlike before, when I did Cafe Enigma, you'll be able to hear the clip while we're playing it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
Because of Teams, okay? Skype didn't allow it, but Teams does.
Yeah, I bet.
All right, but... all right, now, now, Roger, I would say probably we want to start that clip no later than like 10 or 12 minutes into the show. Okay? After you come in and introduce that topic. All right? Unless you want to do it sooner, that's fine too. Roger,
Roger's
he's
there.
smoking.
Get
Get coffee.
Yeah.
Yep. That way, because it's a 23-minute clip.
Any copyright issue or not?
Yeah,
Or do
there
you
is
own
going to
it?
be copyright on it, though. But because
Okay.
because of the nature of the show, and that we're going to use it as educational purposes. So, for fair use, we get to that should be in the clear. But now YouTube might not allow that, and still,
Yeah, I was going to
whine and
suggest-
cry. So what I'll do is I'll just, when I take
Well, I
in.
was going just to add some commentary in between. If it's 20 minutes, then add some commentary at 10 minutes, and then it goes under the fair use commentary YouTube policy.
Well, that so long as we're using it for educational purposes, all the other places that I archive it won't have a problem with it. But
YouTube
Facebook and
can.
YouTube might, and Twitch too. Those are the only three
Yeah.
that I really have issues with copyright right now.
Okay, but you can edit it out if necessary. But yeah. Or
But
do
Rebel.
something. Do something. Yeah.
That rebel's in there causing trouble again, isn't he?
yeah.
I
But
knew
did
it.
you hear me, Roger?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, about 5 to 10 minutes in, we need to start that clip so that everybody can hear it.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I've got it to where when I get in there, I'm gonna do the introductions, get it all quick and going, so it should be right into the clip. So
Yeah.
I've got it. I'm
When you
Mark
say
Edworthy
when
is-
you say
Mark-
and here's a clip from In Search of about the topic, boom, I started. Okay.
I'm gonna do just a quick thing about kind of what the show is gonna be about,
Yep.
and I'm gonna go to a panel introduction, and from that point on,
Yeah.
I'm going to say let's get to the clip before we
Right.
get into the discussion.
Right, because now you have a small panel tonight, so that's you can do that. But when you have bigger panels, like when you have like 8 or 10 people or more, you're gonna have to wait until the clip's over and then introduce your panel. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that way you'll get everybody in. That's just how I used to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I did Jiva Piera or Jiva Piera. I call him Jiva. I did invite him if
Yeah,
he
he's here.
wants to. Okay, good. Now Jiva, he is somebody that freaking I love hanging out with. He's actually a game developer, and I've been doing work with him on the side with my gaming. This guy he's 100% weirdo like we are, dude, but he hasn't openly admitted it. You know what I mean? So
Oh, you're gonna pants him like you do Mark. Okay, I see how it is.
Lucky him.
so
Poor Mark. Anyways.
wait, no, you're talking about Jahan.
Yeah, Jahan.
Yeah, Jahan. Now Jiva, I don't know where he is.
Oh, I don't see him in the chat, so
He might show up, is what I'm saying.
All right.
He's
Yeah.
on Discord. He's not very familiar with Teams.
yeah.
So
I did drop the link in our Facebook group, as everybody can see. I was hoping that David Campione would show up too. And let me just try to add him again, because he might have forgot, or this is a new time for him.
he's Very.
Nancy dropped
He's
out.
very perturbed.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Oh, I hope he did. I hope she did.
Yeah, she just dropped off for a sec.
Yeah.
Vicky, Nancy.
She said she was wondering if you did it. And
No,
I mean,
no. I didn't do that at all. No,
Me.
no.
And
There she is. She's there. Okay, there she is. And Dave's here.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
David.
Hey,
Hey,
all.
Dave.
Was
Hey,
trying
Mark,
to get a hold
hey,
of you.
Roger.
Yeah.
Hey,
This-
Jihan and Nancy and Sonia. Okay.
Yeah.
And Jason. Jason, how did it go last night or Wednesday night?
I don't know. Did you hear Dave? Nancy?
I can hear Dave, but
Yeah.
a
I
few
can't-
minutes ago I couldn't hear anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
you just kind of dropped off there, Nancy, and
No,
then
but
I brought
Jason
you
and I
back
were
in.
I was gonna say Jason and I were both in the chat. We were both still showing in here,
Yeah.
but couldn't hear you.
I see Jason, and Vicky's up, but she's not answering the call. I don't know. I hope she comes in.
Hopefully she does, because I wanna get at her. Like this is gonna be a project. I've been wanting to get Mark Edworthy's head to explode, and it hasn't worked
Oh
yet.
my God.
so still on my shoulders.
And my next goal is I want Nancy to turn into the She-Hulk. Or Vicky. I'm sorry.
Nancy.
Oh,
Oh my
I was
God.
gonna say,
Nancy's already a
She-
she.
she's-
Yeah, that's why I was.
Nancy's-
I know.
Nancy's the Phoenix. What are you talking about?
I was
Well,
gonna say, I don't think I got She-Hulk in me, but Phoenix, I control it too much. Put it that way. I'm like David Banner on crack. You know, you just
Awesome.
can't. You cannot
I
piss
love
me
it.
off. It cannot be good.
Red She-Hulk. Oh,
I love David Banner on crack. That has to be cool, dude. Like,
David Banner like crack. Oh,
I mean, I have to
Yeah.
sometimes sit there and talk myself out of getting angry so things don't explode. Honest to
like-
God, not a joke.
I got all excited and happy just hearing you say David Banner on crack, dude. Like that's just. Could you imagine?
Oh yeah,
That'd be
it's just
something else.
it's like is somebody talking to me. Is somebody
Hulk
talking to me?
want more white stuff. Make lines bigger.
Actually, I've always felt a great affinity to that scene in what was it, Infinity War, where the Hulk takes Loki, and slams him all over the place. I'm like, ooh, that would feel good. Oh yeah. Oh God,
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash, little man.
Yeah, and then
Now-
then you got Ben Grimm. It's clobbering
Now,
time.
First of all, which version of the Hulk are we talking about? Because you got the comic book version, and then you have the television version.
Oh, comic books always better. Always,
Yes.
always better. And
Mhm.
but Joe Cool, he's the Gray Hulk.
The
He's-
comic book
yeah,
version, and then you
he's
have
like
the television
he's like the
version.
dude.
Oh, comic books always
Well,
better.
Tom, now I always
Always,
kind of
always
an
better.
affinity to the Scarlet Witch. I'm just gonna put that out.
Oh, well, that's because she
Sure.
can.
Mhm.
But Joe Cool, he's the Gray Hulk.
Jason just fell off
Yeah,
too.
he's like
Things it's weird. It's like the signal's not. And I just checked to see if there's any outages. I don't see any, but
no. Hold on here.
it's.
It's got to be Teams.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
I hate Teams with a passion. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
just
great.
want- I just want to say
It does
that.
its job. It works
Yeah.
most of the time. Most of the
Roger,
time.
what did I tell you when we had to jump? I said you will come over to the dark side when it comes to teams because
Yeah.
it sucks.
Yeah.
Is Raph
Sure
coming in
does.
tonight? I'm gonna try.
No,
Okay.
Ralph was out with a friend of his who
Okay.
was a police officer on duty at 9/11, so they are kind of out having guys' night.
Okay. I don't know if Jason is actually back yet or not.
I'm
No,
bringing him.
he's not back. Because he wasn't he streaming up there in New York.
Yeah, but he's not that far away. He's only like a couple hours away.
Yeah.
He actually,
I didn't get to see his YouTube stream though. I mean, I was looking everywhere else, but not did not see him on stream other places. And I was like, oh man, YouTube.
I was able to get him to do an interview for Summer last night, dude.
Yeah,
and
he was he kept looking around, and he messaged me a couple times in my chat, and then I just seen it today.
He got taken off. He hit the some button. He just put a note up, and he said, I hit answer on the group call twice and not sure what happened, and it didn't happen. So I don't know. I don't know what he did.
Who? Jason?
Jason, yeah. He's
I'm trying to add him again. But anyways, we got about maybe 6 or... Hey, Jason, here you are. You here with us? All right. Well, anyways, we got about 5 or 6 minutes left on this call, and then I'm going to recall back. We're not going to use any other chat rooms but this one. When we take our break, we'll come. I'll click off, end it, and then bring everybody back here again. All right?
You don't have to do anything, right?
Well, yeah. It'll just be work on my end. That's all.
Okay, thanks.
All right. And I still can't get Vicky in with us for some ungodly reason, but
it's crazy.
She must have it on, but not near her phone or the device that she uses.
She's not even on chat. I don't see her on chat at all.
Yeah, Arpad Vass.
Yeah, she's not here on chat.
Yeah, it's showing her lit up green like she's trying.
She might be over on Telegram posting. Hang on, let me check.
Okay.
Take a look.
That's a good possibility too. But now that your group got bigger, it might be a good idea to introduce your group after
the clip.
After the clip.
Yeah, I agree. And then after Nancy talks, it's just an open like slaughterhouse. I want to see blood, dude. I want to.
Oh my God! Cafe Enigma was never about that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'll keep on task. I apologize. The Hunger Games, guys.
Red 2, you gotta stay on target. All right.
That's right. That's right. I gotta try to be responsible, and not talk all crazy and stuff, and be. Unless, of course, the panel wants me to, like, just be myself and talk crazy.
I don't know who's doing the Dr. Pepper commercial. I heard the soda pop.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that's definitely Mark.
How long did it take you to get back, Jason, with traffic?
Oh, I never drive. I took a New Jersey Transit, and I got to tell you, I had some great time. I got the express back, was an hour and 1 minute from New York to Trenton from Manhattan. So I had a good time on the way back.
Man, you guys must have been really hauling ass. Because I tell you what,
well, it doesn't stop at every stop. The express
train,
okay,
yeah, you got the express.
Like 8 stops, so it flies down. Yeah, it's.
I figured, you know, if you're taking public transit or something like that, man, you're every corner almost.
Now, getting there was a little bit harder. They did pull exactly what I thought they were going to pull, like they did last year. Last year was the first year they actually announced a fake terrorist attack at the WTC in accordance with what was happening down there to throw everybody off of the E train. So if you weren't familiar with the city, you'd be kind of lost. I jumped on the A train and got down there. That was last year. This year, I said, what are they going to do to, they're going to do the same thing. You know what? There were signs all the way up at Penn Station saying, E train has problems with the tracks. Not going to be stopping at the WTC or the prior to last stop. The two last stops, not stopping at. So get on the A train. The A train was, I mean, as you can imagine, packed gills to gills. When I got there, right where you come up at the A train, 3 blocks away, there's Bomb Squad. That wasn't there last year. Very, 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 very shady. I won't get into it all right now, but boy, did they pull out the works on us.
Well, you
Good.
know, it's
I'm
funny.
glad they did that. Yeah.
I saw an alert in the afternoon that actually hit my scanner down here in Florida, and it was that they were looking for a certain individual in New York City who had issued threats against the president, and it didn't have to do with WTC as much as it did it with his appearance at Yankee Stadium for the game, and that they were searching.
Okay.
And it was
one thing too. When we take in, do get the clip on. Everybody mute their mic. All right.
Yes.
All right. That way, it won't break up. Roger or me will be like the only ones probably popping in during that clip. All right.
Well, I mean, I'm fine with it playing all the way through.
Yeah, but I might need to, say something real quick in between too, or for direction. Hey, we're coming up. You're not going to hear part of the end of the clip because I'm going to do a countdown, and you will not have a break until the 5-minute mark at the top of the hour after that.
So that'd be at 55 minutes after the stream starts. Okay.
That's a hard break.
Now, Jiva is in the chat, and I told him that we were getting ready to end the call, and we'll bring him in after the call.
Yeah, let's do that now. I'm going to leave. Yeah. All right, folks, I'm going to get everybody back up and online here so that I can start that group back up. And then we're going to start the show. Cafe Enigma. We're going to talk about the Siberian fireball. Did everybody hang up? Because if not, huh?
No, nobody did.
Everybody has to hang up. Everybody has to hang up completely. Hang up now. David, you have to hang up. There you go. All right. All right. All right.
I'm back.
Good, David.
I'm back.
All right.
Nancy's, Mark Edworthy, Roger, Jason, Sonia. Sonia, bring your stripes back. There you go. We got zebra hide all over our house.
It's an illusion.
Okay, I love that. That's cool.
Thanks.
All right. We should be coming up on in about a minute, and then your intro will play, and then get you rolling.
Remember to do all the fancy cool stuff, like the countdowns and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'll do it just like I do Nancy. And you're live.
Oh, I love that, too.
Right, Nancy?
I love that, too.
No, I'm kidding. I try not to do that. I really, really try not to have that happen. But sometimes the clip skips over, and I'm like, oh, shit, and you're live. But no. I always do my best to take and do a full countdown. Some here lately it's been shorter, like 3, 2, 1, instead of the 5. But
did we lose Jihan?
Hey Roger, Jiva's gone. She didn't.
Yeah.
She didn't come back in.
Yeah, we'll get them in on the clip or here in a minute.
Jihan.
All right.
He's in the chat. He just hasn't figured out how to
pick up
the thing.
Yeah, you just got to pick it up. 30 seconds, Roger.
Okay.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
Oh no. Don't jinx me like that. I get nervous enough.
Yep. And here's your countdown, Roger. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And welcome to the new Cafe Enigma, starting right now with you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cafe Enigma, where mysteries linger at the edge of science and imagination. Tonight we journey into a tale of energy, ambition, and a Siberian catastrophe that still baffles the world. We explore the connections between Nikola Tesla, high-powered ionospheric research, and the enigmatic Tunguska event. And before we get started with the panel introduction and all of that, I would like to let us listen to this clip, this quick 22-minute clip of In Search of the Siberian Fireball first, and then we'll get to the discussion. So before we start the video clip, I'd like to ask if everybody could please mute their audio, and we'll get that started.
Since the first man-made nuclear blast in July 1945, scientists have chronicled the devastating effects of an atomic explosion. The evidence now indicates that a nuclear explosion may have occurred on Earth as early as 1908. June 30th, 1908, over 12,000 square miles of Siberian tundra was rocked by an exploding fireball. The blast was 10 times as powerful as the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Yet, atomic power was unknown on Earth. What was the Siberian fireball?
This series presents information based in part on theory and conjecture. The producer's purpose is to suggest some possible explanation, but not necessarily the only ones, to the mysteries we will examine.
In an age when satellites have become commonplace in the heavens above Earth, it is possible to conceive of another civilization sending a distant probe to our planet. There's a startling theory that such a probe may have arrived on Earth just after the turn of the century, and that it was programmed to land in the vast open spaces of Siberia. In the 4 million square miles of Siberian tundra, there are only a handful of population centers. For the most part, it is a land that nature has forsaken. The layer of permafrost descending 1,000 feet below the surface makes farming virtually impossible. The barren land supports very little animal life and only a small, hardy population. The lives of the people have changed little over the hundreds of years. The stories they tell of their past are simple tales whose origins can easily be traced. The traders in Vanavara, a tiny hamlet 3,000 miles east of Moscow, maintain a legend, however, that has puzzled scientists for 80 years. They say that a bluish, cylindrically shaped object came hurtling in from outer space. It was the morning of June 30th, 1908. At precisely 7:17,
I
the
can hear the
object
show on Rumble.
exploded.
The clip. Yeah.
The story of that
nothing
explosion
here.
has been passed down through a
Yeah,
generation
there's no video
to
on
people
Rumble
who
either, just
remember it
this.
today. Dorothy
I can hear
Raisinen's
the sound
parents
on D-Live
witnessed
also.
the explosion.
It was this big boom.
Can you hear me?
They couldn't
Yes.
see,
Nice,
and
nice.
the earth shook
So, should
under
I
them.
switch to
And of
Rumble?
course, they all fell down
No,
and
just
prayed
stay
and cried,
right
you know.
here.
And the children got hysterical. The sky turned kind of a dirty orange, a haze got in there.
Now, we might want to like pretend like we have.
I'm sorry, everybody. I thought you guys could be able to hear that clip when I played it.
No.
Huh?
Nothing,
Were
Mark.
were you hearing anything?
No.
No.
I'm sorry.
I can
Just
hear everybody's lovely voices and random confusion. but
yeah,
I
no, I heard it. No, see. I thought for sure that I would be. No, I guess if Roger played it, but
I can do it if you want. I mean,
no, it's too late. We'll try that next
Mark,
week.
can you just add it in post? Yeah, just add it in post.
Okay. So,
No, it'll show up. It'll actually show up in the on the what is it?
Live.
On the live radio side.
okay.
All right.
Oh.
But they will not hear any of us talk.
Okay,
all right.
good.
That could be
okay.
that. It could be the because I'm broadcasting on two different broadcasters. But I didn't have a problem with that before when I was doing like like music through the same broadcaster. But I wasn't streaming on that broadcaster at the same time either. So that could be the deal. All right. Well,
also
It's perfectly fine. I have good references and stuff, and I'll break into it. I came backed up, so trust me on this. We're good to go still, okay?
So just wait until whoever's left with 20 minutes. And then
Yeah,
Yeah.
let
I was gonna
us
say,
play the video.
Well,
just
we
like
got
play
about-
why don't you,
we got about a little over 16 minutes before we come back.
Okay.
well, can
Nancy.
we still have entertaining, confused conversation in the 16 minutes? Because
Yes.
that's pretty much what it was.
That's
It'll be break time when we come back.
No break in the first hour. The clip is the break.
Oh,
gonna say, we
okay.
are-
It's Cafe Enigma. It's Cafe Enigma. If we weren't doing a clip this large or a clip, we would be doing a break. We would talk and then do a break and then come back and talk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm
Speaking
actually
about
sitting
Cafe,
baked.
I was just gonna say my bad for being an hour late. Speaking about Cafe Enigma, I was thinking it was 9 o'clock. No, it's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
Well, that was because of
9 o'clock.
No, it's 9 o'clock. We did pre-show.
Oh, it is
o'clock,
normally
Jason.
9.
Yeah,
Okay, it's
Yeah.
normally 9.
Yeah,
Alright.
that was my fault for posting that wrong. It's right
Oh,
on
that's
the
all right.
it's right on the banner, but it's
Well, I mean,
it's right
I kept
Central
quiet.
time,
Oh,
but
yeah,
not
Roger deal.
8 o'clock Central
All right.
time. Yeah.
I-
I say we take a vote to rename Mark Cersei, so we can all just sit here and go shame.
Shame.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I tried not
Other
to.
Cersei.
like,
No, I don't want you all to come and be pigs so I can slaughter you all and eat you. No.
I was
that's-
saying that we need after I save my piece, I'm gonna hand it over to the panel, and it's just a bloodfest. Just start
What?
killing guys. Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
He's got this blood thing going on in the brain right now.
Oh
I just
my
think it's been a
God.
very violent
Yeah.
weekend, and Roger needs a nap.
well, ask Jiva. He knows me a little bit. He can tell you. Well, you guys know me a little bit. You can tell him too. I mean, it's all about the love of blood.
Oh, jeez.
Like I'm
True.
infamous.
I'm kind of happy Vicky's not here right now. Just gonna
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. We'd be
I-
she would have dug out her prayer beads and be, oh boy.
Well, I
we
don't
would have
think
heard the
she.
ancient Latin exorcism.
Mhm. Where is she?
I don't know. Oh,
God.
well,
I don't know.
I am going to try to break. Well, now that I know that this part's not going to Uh-oh. All right. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna... Can you message her, Nancy, and let her know that I'm trying to bring her in?
Let me let her. Hold on, I've got it. See, I've got Vicky on like five.
She was green, and now she's not.
But she's not in chat at all.
Yeah,
because she's always
in the chat. Yeah, she was lit up. I'm trying to call her, but it's like she's not online right now. It don't look like.
He's probably
You got storms up in that area or what? I don't know.
I've been this whole thing on Teams has been getting crazy in the last 2 days. It really has.
Huh.
Yeah, but there's reasons for that, and you should be well aware of that, Roger. Whenever anything major happens nationally, all communication sources go under heavy duty scrutiny.
Yep.
Guys,
heavy duty.
I have to say that this team stuff sucks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And trust me, whenever we do stuff like this, unless it's on Dragus, I will not put you.
Why don't you do it on Discord? What's the deal with that team?
We're actually when Mark goes on to the thing, we're actually on the radio. So he's got a certain system that he has going on. I don't know what that is, so I don't really bug too much. They get people who do, you do this stuff. People get really tense. They don't like people to tell them they need to do stuff, So I leave Mark alone and let him do things the way he does things. Cause
you will not get certain of my hosts ever to go on Teams. No, I'm not Teams, but on Discord. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. They will not use it, and the same holds true with trying to get people, everybody, even if they're anons, they don't want to take and go over to Telegram. All right.
Oh, come on!
I'm serious. I'm totally serious.
Also, Discord can be quite quite useful when it comes to opponent terms of services. And some of our subjects are not, may not be fit for.
You done got the computer nerds mad, dude. Look at that, Mark. Mark Wataja, you know better than that. You just got that's kind of like me talking about open source the way I do.
Well, you could be talking to the panel here a little bit about what's going on in that clip.
Well, that's going to be cool. That's what I was saying.
And then when we come back, you can just turn them loose.
I saw the clip that you put up last week, which was really good. Yeah, I never saw it before.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Have you guys? Now I know Sonia said she had a chance to watch it.
Did also.
And Dave watched it. I know Nancy watched it.
I know Nancy's seen it. It was part of the first show that I did with it.
Oh yeah. But now Mark Edworthy.
But the neatest thing was on that clip was that all the trees in the middle were still standing.
Yep.
Which reminds me of it reminds me of a DEW. It reminds me of a direct energy weapon because of that. I've always thought about that because of the way it occurred, and like I said, the Tesla theory, as much as they like to discount it immediately, it actually has some teeth. So it's every time they do that, whenever they discount something without even saying a word, it usually is going to have teeth.
But
you really want to take a look.
At the same sense when you look at those trees, a halon bomb could have did the same thing because a halon bomb implodes; it doesn't explode, and it pulls all the oxygen out of the area and burns everything from the inside out. A halon bomb.
That sounds extremely interesting to me.
In fact, they used it a lot.
Explosion that happened.
They used it tons and tons of times over in Iraq. Believe me.
Yep.
That's why when you look at some of those caravans that were going by, military caravans, that was an A-10 that dropped a halon bomb that exploded over them, not on them.
Well, and the other thing
How
too is
about
what
that?
a lot of people don't realize is that there was like an aurora for like 3 days following that event.
Yeah.
And there's no amount of, I guess you could say, convincing you can do to me that says yes, that was a meteor that exploded right at that level in the atmosphere.
I could scientifically prove that it could be a meteor actually, and I could explain the aurora. I can explain the aurora.
Well,
because when
if
the asteroid enters, long story short, when the asteroid enters the Earth's atmosphere, burns up, it ionizes the atmosphere. Right.
Well, that's true.
But what would happen if it was a small comet, mostly comprised of hydrogen or halon? Because all of those things are natural elements that we use. Halon's not made chemically.
Small, I think.
You guys know we got a radio show that this material could go on to. You guys are like sharing all the good stuff before we even get the radio show going. Like,
yeah,
that happens every time, doesn't it? Don't we always do that at the break?
Always. It's like,
so are we rolling the clip again?
Well, we gotta wait for this video clip to end for the radio show.
We got about 6 minutes.
Got 6 minutes to go, and this is good because what we're doing is we're brainstorming. I'm just joking.
Oh, so the clip is running on the radio, right?
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, guys, I'm new.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right,
The
brother.
clip is running on the radio side. I was trying to get it to play
Jiva.
on this side, but it
My God,
for
we're
everybody.
on radio? This is amazing.
No,
Yes.
not yet. Not yet. The clip is playing. We're just being idiots. But we tend to do that. You should hear our breaks. It's awesome.
He is hearing our breaks. We're actually like introducing him to the cool stuff that we talk about on breaks. And don't listen to any of that Jiva just said. He's like pulling your leg, dude. That guy drives
No,
me
actually it makes sense because it is the excitation of ions that causes.
No, I mean
So he's right.
not that part.
And to be
Just
fair,
like right there, what he
because
just
people
said.
make this argument, all right, it's like why it stayed for so long, like 3 to 1 week, something like that. Well, because it's cold.
It's cold.
That's not what
It's cold.
That's not what I was talking about.
There was also, it was cold, but there was also seismic activity that came along with that event that would also elongate the aurora. People don't realize how much that interconnects. It really does. Seismic activity actually will cause all sorts of fun things.
Yeah.
And the other thing they don't realize is that the aurora actually has a sound. It has an extreme low frequency that's associated to it that some people can hear. Some humans can actually hear it. So it's one of those things I love talking about, the aurora.
Really?
Because it's so.
Yeah.
Is that
true?
Dude,
It can be recorded too. You can record it.
Man,
the sound.
Now I want to go to North Pole.
Oh, or the South Pole, whichever's closer for you, right?
Go to the North Pole. That's
Norway,
Fairbanks,
probably.
Alaska always has them. It has some good auroras up there.
Is it true that you cannot actually go to Antarctic now? I think it's like you cannot go there.
They have certain expeditions you can do, but Antarctica has always been a very complicated place to travel to, and people never ask why. You have to have your appendix removed if you're on any kind of scientific mission down there for any length of time. You can't have an appendix. They surgically remove it before you go.
I actually know a guy that works in he's not on the project right now, but he worked on the neutrino laboratory.
Nice.
Yeah. Briefly for 3 months, stayed and lived there in like -70.
Wow.
Celsius
Well,
is just.
beach fair.
Oh,
Beach fair, they get that in Alaska. They do get that cold up there, and all sorts of
Great.
fun stuff happens up there too. And what makes it funny, I think, is the anomalies that you see in Alaska, and there's quite a few anomalies up there. That's a very interesting geographic area. You have like mimicking anomalies in Antarctica. It's like the only two places on Earth you'll see some of these anomalies. And people always said, well, it's because of the positioning, the cold, the this, the that, but it doesn't add up. It's like, no, there's something else that's there. I don't know if it's a geomagnetic, I guess you could say, cluster or what it is, but something in those locations causes all sorts of interesting anomalies. And my husband was actually stationed in Alaska for 8 years. And he tried so hard to get out of there. He tried so hard.
What
What's up
research
with
did he
people
do?
seeing What's up with people seeing auroras all the way down in Miami a couple weeks ago?
Dude, we could see him here in Tampa.
That's called
so
ayahuasca, Jason.
No. It was the aurora. It was. In fact, I took pictures of it. You could, as the sun was going down, you could.
Texas and parts of Oklahoma a week or two ago, they were saying.
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing: back in the late 1990s, there was an event, and it wasn't it was not a declared solar event, but something happened. We could see auroras in the day. I'll never forget it. I was like with my daughter. My daughter was like latched around my leg, and I'm looking at the sky, going, "Those are not sun devils. What the hell is that?" It was the aurora.
Climate
and I'm like, why am I seeing? What am I
never
seeing
heard
right
of that
now?
before until this year, but maybe that's just something I've never heard of.
Well, again, your polar is moving at maximum speed right now, like speeds we have never seen in the time period that we've been recording the movement of polar north. We've never seen it move like it's moving right now, and it's been doing it since like 2001.
I blame Augusta
too,
for
so
that
there's
because that impact, had to shuffle all that stuff underneath the earth, and it just takes so many decades and that for it to all shift around properly and all that. Yeah.
I don't know, Mark.
In the moldman from DC Comics.
But supposedly the core of the planet is stalling. So in other words, that giant magnetic ball in the center of the planet is supposedly stalling out. You've got polar north hoofing it, and to the point where you guys saw the article I wrote. I wrote that article originally in 2012. Okay, that was in 2012 that I was noticing it. And every time I would put that out, that was published in Intrepid magazine. And I had a lot of people who worked in collegiate level sciences who were pshawing it, saying, "Oh, that's ridiculous." I'm like, they had to repaint the airport longitude latitude lines because
David
they're not
Icke
right
talks
anymore.
a lot about that.
Yeah, and see, this is where it's going to get interesting, because when we start this up, I'm going to have Sonia give her commentary because she's the co-host, and after that, I want to open it up to where Nancy can talk about it, because this is
30 seconds.
We're going to be talking about Blue Beam and stuff like that too, so it's going to get pretty good. This is going to be a good conversation, so just hold on to your horses. We're ready to go.
I am muting out.
Yeah, you don't have to mute out. Look out, cats, dogs, and kids. Here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you are live and on the radio side right now.
Welcome back. I am Roger Hanson. Tonight I will be your host. And joining us tonight is my co-host, Sonia Galactic, spelled Galactic with a T-E-C instead of T-E or T-I-C. And with her is our esteemed host. Now, on our esteemed panel, and on our panel, I want to start letting everybody know who's on there. There's Jason Quigley, aka MC Dirty Work, and he is joining us tonight, as well as David Campione, our trusted timekeeper of magic. And then we have Nancy Planeta from the Vixen's Vault right here on Dragus Production. You can check her out every Wednesday night, same time as this show, and it is an excellent show. Then we have Mark Edworthy, the man of many faces, the guy who does stuff. And after that, we have my co-host, which is Sonia Galactic. She is one in a million. And then we have Jiva Piera. Now, Jiva is a game developer, and he has been doing a lot of work with me and Rapid Glitch on Nostalgia Gaming Retro. So if you want to see some of the cool stuff he does, you're going to have to start liking gaming. If not, sorry guys. But with that being said, I would love to have you guys go around and say a lot of cool stuff, but we better get on with the topic. What do you think?
Yep.
Okay,
Sounds
so
good to me.
Good idea. Go for it.
Okay, so basically in June of 1908, okay, the skies over Siberia ignited. Okay, the Tunguska event flattened forests for hundreds of miles. Eyewitnesses reported a fireball brighter than the sun and a shock wave that knocked people from their feet, okay? No crater was found, no meteorite retrieved. Scientists call it one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. But this is where we go further than just Tunguska. Tesla, working in New York decades earlier, claimed he had transmitted energy wirelessly across the globe. Could his experiments, even inadvertently, have influenced Tunguska? Tonight, we ask whether human ingenuity may have brushed against forces we barely understand. Let's begin with the fundamental question. Could Tesla's concept of wireless energy have been capable of producing an effect like Tunguska? And with that, I'm going to open it up first to my co-host, Sonia, let her give her take on it and go from there.
Hi guys. I would say absolutely, definitely. That's probably the whole thing, really. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Nancy?
Well, I mean, it's a complicated issue because a lot of the things we talk about when we talk about Nikola Tesla, because all of his research was confiscated or quote unquote disappeared after his death, we are kind of grasping at straws and we're going at theoreticals. So in other words, you're basing a lot of information off what he stated, but you're not actually able to see the outlines of the technology we're talking about.
Right.
Now, do I believe Nikola Tesla was capable of that? Yes. He's a person, when you actually really start studying his work and looking at his work, his brain worked differently than most. He reminds me of a little bit of Albert Einstein, except I think he was actually more intelligent than Einstein. If I was going to put him in any category when it came to people, I would say he was most likely Asperger's, like Elon Musk, personality-wise, because of the way he compartmentalizes information and his antisocial type of personality, which, believe it or not, Elon Musk also has. He's not a very social person. He's very uncomfortable in social situations. He's had to work on it for years to even be able to do what he does. So with Nikolai, he was working on the types of energy that to a government have no place because they're not something that is profitable. It's something that kind of like, I always put it in the same grocery basket as marijuana. Why was marijuana illegal for so long in the United States? Well, it was illegal because they couldn't figure out a way to actually control it and profit from it. So in other words, anybody could plant it. It was a weed. You could throw the damn seeds in your backyard and have a nice, beautiful marijuana plant pretty much anywhere you lived in the continental United States within, 3 months. True story. So they were trying to find ways. And what did they end up doing? Marlboro ended up what? Patenting a cloned marijuana seed. And then suddenly we had all these movements to legalize it around the country and to control it. So the government has like the patents on marijuana, what can be sold, what cannot be sold. And they do it under the guise of your health. Well, we're gonna sell you the stuff we know is healthy because you never know what the other stuff's gonna have in it. Oh, great, thanks a lot. But it's the same thing with Nikola Tesla. Tesla's technologies allowed for people to basically access energies, different forms of energies that wouldn't require a main belt to distribute. So when you're talking that time period, you had other patents that were there that would be huge moneymakers. Huge. Okay? Not so much Tesla. And Tesla was very determined. And that was one thing, again, if you do your research on him, he was all about bringing things to people for the advancement of humanity. He was not so much about making the money. The man died dirt poor. No joke. Like in a hovel apartment in Manhattan. Very, very poor. So when we look at what he did do, the coils, just look at the Tesla coils. What do? They're transferring energy through what? The air. There's no wire involved in a Tesla coil. A Tesla coil, when it's transmitting between two coils, there's no wire connection. It's a transmission. So yeah, was he capable of doing that in 1908? Yes, I believe he was. I 100% believe he was. Do I think it could have caused the Tunguska event? I have seen stranger things. And I can tell you that they do not tell you the truth about anything when it comes to that type of technology, because they're going to patent it, they're going to lock it down, and they're going to use it for their own reasons. And we have found that out time and time and time again when we've trusted what they've told us. Oh, we trust you. Yes, you would never do that to us. And then we find out there was some crazy X-ray heart attack device that the CIA was using in the 1970s to kill off their enemies, even though they swore they didn't have one. So it's, again, yeah, it is very plausible. And the way seismic activity works in the planet, yeah. And that's not even, guys, I'm going to let it pass it off to the next person because I could keep going, but I'm just going to put the little subnote on there. There's another experiment that is hushed and veiled in secrecy, and you can never get a confirmation, but there are witnesses who are still alive to this day. And that was the Philadelphia experiment. And you're talking the same type of deal. Go ahead.
I just had to say something about the heart attack gun. Yeah, I mean they didn't have the heart attack gun. Then they literally, was it Time magazine? I'm not sure if it was, but there was a magazine that actually had Barry Goldwater on the front of it holding the heart attack gun, the shellfish gun, whatever it was.
And it's on the same lines of like V2K technology, or what causes Frey syndrome. Or Fry syndrome, however you want to pronounce it. They swore it didn't exist. They swore that everybody was just on crack. Oh, Havana syndrome? No, it could not be V2K technology. No, that doesn't exist. And then you go on the U.S. Army site from 2015 in the archived areas of the Army site. There you see blueprints of a V2K device, just on the United States Army website. And then you start reading about events that occurred in the 1970s where, we attacked a Russian embassy using an auditory device. So they don't tell the truth. We're just, and they'll say it's because of national security. Yeah, I'm sure making people think wild thoughts in their heads because you're emitting a frequency at their brain. Yeah, sure, you really don't want to tell us about that because then we're going to question our reality all the way around.
I would have traded our national security 25 years ago for the world that we live in today. I'm fine with having an insecure nation compared to this slave world we live in.
Again, and the thing with Tunguska, look at the timing of the event. And I always say this to people, you have to look at the full picture. People tend to monofocus. They only look at one aspect of something. They're not looking at everything else that's going on at the same time. 1908 to 1910, what were we looking at? We were looking at a different economic state beginning to build. Because we had what? We had the Fed that was starting to go into place in the United States. We had banking systems that were starting up. You're forgetting it's only a few years after that, all of the, I guess you could say, the big money men in the United States who disagreed with the Fed died on the Titanic. So, I mean, this is all in the same time period. And we were in a competition with Russia at that point. Russia was shut off from the rest of the world. People, again, you don't know your time periods. Yes, the Romanov family, yes, they're related to the royal family of Great Britain, 100%. Yes. In fact, Nikolai Romanov's wife was the granddaughter of Queen Victoria. So, I mean, there is a blood relation there. But as a country, Russia kind of kept to themselves.
This is just before the Bolshevik Revolution. So
yes.
You said 1808, 1810 was, as a country, as a nation, it was still relatively peaceful at the time.
No, they were not. Not internally. Absolutely not. They were at war with Germany.
Well, yeah, there were pockets. There are pockets, but as a sort of concisus of a country, they were relatively peaceful.
What was the problem with Nikolai? Nikolai was trying to do what? Why did the Bolsheviks take him out? Do you know? Because I can tell you one of the main reasons. And it was not like the French was, let them eat cake. It was not that. It was because he was trying to modernize. He was trying to bring his military and his forces into more of a Western type modernization. He was all about, trying to organize and modernize. And unfortunately, the way it worked for him, to do that, he had to take all the resources for the people and put it into the military. Didn't end well for him, did it now? But why would he do that? What else was going on at that time? There's a lot of innovation that came out of Russia that we were never made aware of until literally Russia fell under Reagan. Mr. Reagan or Mr. President, take that wall down. Yeah. And basically, he actually told everybody to go eat donuts. I think we all remember that pretty well because it was really embarrassing. But the fact is that we found out all this research that Russia's been doing since like the turn of the century. Research on electricity, research on genetics, research on all of these things. I mean, during World War II, we found out they were trying to build super soldiers genetically. They were way ahead of us.
Nancy,
so really, this didn't become a sort of national pride until 1920 onwards. Or
Now, I do have to mention something. Jiva actually it would be perfect for this because he is in England, but he is actually born in Russia. Isn't that true, Jiva?
No, I'm born in Lithuania, sir.
Lithuania.
How dare you?
Sorry about that.
Beautiful area.
Well, it was a part of the Soviet Union. Yes, sure.
Yeah,
but I was a
yeah,
baby.
Lithuania. It's beautiful. Oof. I'm jealous. What a beautiful area.
I am not jealous. I'm massively disappointed in my country.
I'm talking geography, not, but yeah.
Geography. That's pretty much what's left.
So.
And
now,
I'm not.
Anyways, not the point. The point is, I wanted to point this out to you, Nancy.
Yes.
Remember that it's all happening Tunguska. 1908, right?
Yes.
General relativity was not yet done, basically, right? We have general relativity. That's the same year, I think.
As far as we know,
or maybe even 1912, I think. So. Yes, Nikola Tesla was on top of the curve when it comes to electromagnetism and all of that, but we didn't even had quantum theory, like the basics done up until like 1930s, I think, 1950.
But where did quantum theory come from? But let's wait, stop. Where did quantum theory come from? Do you know? It came from Ramadan. It came from a dream. String theory literally came from a dream.
But it was propelled by Einstein's general theory of relativity. That's what kicked off.
Yes and no. That's the main physics theory. You're talking quantum physics. Einstein wasn't into quantum physics.
But Nancy, we are talking about if we are talking about direct energy weapons, right, or direct energy,
Correct.
like
Well, no, not intentionally. I don't think Tesla did this intentionally. That's what I'm saying. I think it was
experiment
a
go
direct
wrong.
energy weapon. I think it was. No, not even experiment gone wrong. Experiment where they didn't know what the outcome was going to be. And I think we've done that several times. And I think Tesla had the intelligence to do it and probably didn't even know he did it, to be very honest with you, because
well, Bolsheviks would have the power to do that, obviously. But do you think Tsarist Russia back then would be involved in these kind of like programs?
I don't think it was intentional. But if you look at the history of Tsarist Russia and all of the little secret programs that they had that we've discovered since the fall. I mean, and even since the fall, that's what's crazy. The records that have been released, you have to go on some really bibliophile sites to find them. I know, because I've gone looking. They were so advanced compared to what we're told is current in the United States, and even by today's standards, some of the stuff you're reading it and you're like, holy crow, man, they were light years ahead of us. But then you have to censor yourself and say, well, but they treat us like we're idiots. They literally treat the population in this country like we're a bunch of monkeys. They give us the minimal amount of information when they're light years ahead of us.
Well, I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real psyop on the population when it comes to science, because whatever you're looking at, and you guys know this, I say it on my show constantly, they are at least 50 years ahead of us. Whatever tech we're holding in our hands today is already outdated by 50 years when it comes to the military.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
It's just the honest.
All the fancy tech is first implemented into military for the military. That's for sure.
When you see
even the microwaves, mobile phones, you name it. For sure.
Well, even the nanotechnology. I laugh because people say nanotechnology is so new, and I'm like, no, you retard. They had nanotechnology on Hollywood television in the late 2000s, going into the early 2000s. You had shows like Stargate where you had nanotechnology in the body. All that stuff, we were shown it 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and it was already outdated if it was on the TV. That's where you don't understand how deep the psyop goes. They have to show you, because then when it gets revealed, you're not going to be startled. Like, why are there little microscopic bugs that are mechanical?
True, I agree with you. But when I'm talking about Tunguska, 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago, right? I'm trying to put myself in the kind of in the timeline and all the geopolitics that went through back then, right? So we have rapid industrialization. Tsarist Russia is doing their own thing. Germany and the UK is basically at each other's throats. United States is worrying about itself back then. It didn't have any imperialistic goals, you might argue, back then.
We were actually in I think we were still Mexico-Cuba problems going on back at that time period.
Yes,
that was
you could make an argument, but it was like this divisive. It was not a global world like we have today, and this kind of.
It was, but it was a genetic global world. That's what I'm saying. Even the United States, our leaders at that point in time, had genetic relations overseas to the royal families.
True.
All of the royal families overseas are genetically related to each other.
But I'll make the point that Tsarist Russia couldn't make it wouldn't be able to finance that kind of a project. Now, it had to be done by UK or United States. So.
Remember at that time.
No, hold on a minute. Let's do this one at a time. Now, Mark, give Mark Edworthy a chance to say something here, and then Jason.
Economic pointer, a cultural pointer. At that time, 1910, up to the reforms of the mid-1920s and 1930s, Russia was still an agricultural country. It hasn't really what we would be, consider as being a sort of industrial, for the time, a Western industrial country. It was still an agricultural country, whereas Europe and the US were changing from agriculture to industry back in the early 19th century. Russia didn't catch up until the reforms of the 1920s and 30s.
Now, before
So
anybody comments, hold on. Let MC Messy Pants
Thanks, Roger.
say something.
I'll make this. I'll be brief.
Get 'em.
Good directing there. I just wanted to say about Tunguska, the epicenter. That always tripped me out. That the epicenter, if you notice, the trees were all pointed north, then south, east, west. They did some kind of experiment with something that looked like match heads. I don't think they were match heads, but something like that. And they blew something up relatively 30, 40 feet above it. And those match heads acted exactly like the trees and the tree patterns at Tunguska, where there was an actual, you could tell there was an actual epicenter. There was a middle where everything else just fanned out. So very interesting.
Okay.
But I think what bothers me with Tunguska is there's no remnants. In other words, if there was an explosion of a meteorite that close to the planet, and they're trying to tell you that it's kind of like a 9/11 situation, where everything was eviscerated. Anything that was related to that object that did that was gone. It was eviscerated, destroyed in the explosion, which makes no sense. You would still have in the trees, there would be something embedded there, even if it was microdust, there would be embedding of the object. They didn't find any embeddings of the object. That makes me
how hard did
okay.
they,
That is really weird.
How hard did they try to look? How far
Yeah,
was
you're talking
the
1908. Yes.
Yeah,
Well, and
precisely.
it happened in
good
winter.
point,
It was
Mark.
in 1908. Yep. And it could have melted away, but it's still, you would have found some type, especially radiation. You would have found some trace of it in the water as the snows melted. There would have been trace. Even back then, there would have been trace. They would have found
been
something.
documented
Now,
also, wouldn't it be documented? It might not have been documented.
There is eyewitness testimony of people who were there in the area when it happened. They didn't get the testimony until a year after. But there is
something that somebody's looking for this stuff and actually documented it, and the documenting survive and
even now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can look at trees now. Okay, see those trees, a lot of them would probably be there. Okay, just because of the age of trees and how long they live. So you take a tree now and you cut it, and an event happened 100 years ago. You can find evidence of that event in the rings of the tree. Okay, that's how it works in nature. But they can't find any evidence of this event buried in these trees that shows it something that came in.
People are actually
yes, of course they were. It's the greatest mystery.
No. Okay.
I wasn't trying to say that it was something from outer space or anything. I was just noting the point that they were fanned out, and that's interesting to me.
Well, because it shows that you're right. There was an epicenter above ground because it had been. There's no crater. That's the other interesting thing. There is no crater related to this event. So again, if it was something that had touched the ground, of course it would leave an embedding. It would leave a crater. So whatever this was, it happened higher up. It was at an elevation.
It happened in the air somewhere. Right.
Correct. But again,
you can explain this fairly easily with a meteorite theory.
But there's no.
If you have a medium-sized meteorite which is unstable, maybe it's built. It has a lot of rock material and not metals inside of it. Then it would break up because of
it would still embed in the trees. That's
true.
What I'm saying. It would still
true. That is true.
And that's, I mean, even we had an event, 5 years ago, with a very similar type of event where an explosion, a meteorite came in, exploded. I forget what city it was over in Europe, and it left trace materials all over the place.
Big too. You would think, my God, it would have to with something that size.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There are disturbing things about Tunguska that don't. Again, I have to pull myself back and say, well, you're talking 1908 in the middle of nowhere. So to be fair, yes, we have to hold that in check and keep that at the top of our head. But there's so many blanks here that really bother me. And I look at the Philadelphia experiment. I look at what that was also Tesla technology. And I have to say, could this have been what he started with? We know there was a preceding event to the Philadelphia experiment, another very similar event that involved a riverboat. And Tesla was involved in that too.
We spoke about that my first time on the Philadelphia experiment and the Tesla tech, the coils on there.
Yes, so it's like, where was he working on something? We know he was at that in 1908. He would have been working with what's his face? Oh God,
Edison.
Morgan,
J.P. Morgan or Westinghouse?
Well, no, Edison. Edison was the other scientist that he collaborated with. Yeah. Now you're talking the AC/DC battle, but the fact is that Edison won because Edison came up with a form of energy that they could make a lot of money off of.
Well, Edison was a capitalist, a good old capitalist. Yes. That's why he prevailed.
Correct. But again, you can't. I always say this: you can't take away from what Tesla was capable of, but you can say maybe he had to do a lot of these experiments very much on the down low because he had a partner, and you got to be careful. But we do know there is evidence that he was working on different things that did do strange, anomalous effects. So is it possible? Well, anything's possible because we don't know exactly what technology he had at that point. We don't know exactly what he knew at that point. We just know he had a brain that was capable of thinking in ways most of us cannot. On the other side of that, could it have been, we have to look at the thought, could it have been a UFO? Could it have been an object intelligently operated that came in? Could it have been a weapon that was being worked on that went backwards? Because if it was a weapon the Russians were working on, or even the Germans,
not a chance. But imagine Germany at that time. Imagine Germany at that time testing a energy weapon or whatever in the middle of Siberia. It's not feasible at back end then.
Here's where I go though with Germany. And because, again, I know quite a bit of history from that time period. And I always kind of tell people, you look at Germany as a technology developmental country. And during World War II, they kind of had us, excuse the expression, by the balls in many ways when it came to technology and how far they were advancing, how quickly they were advancing. And, I always said it always goes back to an event. There was an event. It's like in 1936, there was an event in the Black Forest in Germany. It was supposedly a UFO event, and supposedly they recovered that craft. Anybody can look that up. That is information available easily. There was this event covered. After that, we had the Bell design. We had all these innovative technologies suddenly starting to come out of Germany, and very advanced. So it's a very short window, like itty bitty window for that technology to have gone from Orville and Wilbur Wright, basically flapping their arms and trying to get airborne, to what Germany was producing in World War II. Okay, that's only like a 25, 30-year window, if that. Think about that on the chronology of our time.
With massive inflation and political instability. Yep. Yeah, it is quite impressive.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll give them that.
And then you've also got the fact that Germany was very much into looking for very ancient objects. And all of these objects had certain, I guess you could say, aspects to them that made you, if you're an intelligent person and I love the Ark of the Covenant. I love looking at the Ark of the Covenant and actually examining how it's built and what it was supposedly built with and what the effects of the Ark supposedly were. Because it is built like a little thermonuclear reactor. And if you actually look at the fact that it was covered in gold, well, gold is what? A conductor. So, and people died of what I would call radiation poisoning if they were exposed to it. So it's one of those things where you have to think and say, well, maybe they were playing, maybe somebody found some ancient technology and they were playing with it.
All right.
Hold
on to that thought, folks. We'll be right back after this.
Got a little bit of a break coming up, so everybody hold on tight, and we will be back. Oh, that was
we went over a little bit, but that's fine.
Yeah, so that was
pretty.
We're on a break.
Well, we have more time, Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to run out of time on this one, and go ahead, everybody, while we're doing this break, and we can, just go ahead and hang up, everybody, and once everybody else hangs up, I'll hang up and then recall.
Okay.
Mark, you got to hang up. There we go. And we'll be right back with more Cafe Enigma on the second hour. We're talking tonight about Tunguska in Siberia and the big old fireball that was there. So stick around. I'm going to get the group back up and going. Hello, hello, hello. You there?
Hello, hello.
Did you hang up before?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm bringing everybody back now.
I have no idea how this works, guys.
That's all right. So long as you picked up.
There we go.
Interesting how a game developer is a complete noob when it comes to like things like this, right?
You guys are really doing a great freaking conversation piece here. I mean,
hey.
All right, it's back. And I do want to say one thing. Russia itself might not have had the money, but like all the other parts of the things that go on, guess what? The Vatican could have sent money and been doing experiments too. So think about
absolutely.
that. So because all wars, all wars, start somewhere in there, and any kind of like, if you had something like that, maybe it'll bring people to God.
Well, Vatican funded CERN.
Oh, Vatican
who funded CERN?
Do that.
There you go.
I see Vatican pulling off things like that for sure.
And
they
have their secrets too.
I was just gonna say they sat on the vault. The vault had like all Da Vinci's, everything, anything that was considered heresy, which is basically anything that could make money, is locked up in the Vatican vaults.
Well,
historically,
all money comes and goes. All money comes and goes through the Vatican because it's part of their system.
And at that time, they had a lot of power.
Yeah, even more, even more so around that time, because the popes and the religious leaders at the times, they had a lot of power compared to what we see now. Now they do more stuff in secret, and not up front. Back then, people couldn't go out with a cell phone and take a picture of things.
All their rules, all their stamps, their paper bulls that they made up in the, way back 1300s before then, all in them vaults still.
Yeah, and I'm not saying anything against, the religion. I'm just saying, there's a governing body. The governing body. All right.
Now, see, in this next part coming up, man, this is where I want to dig deeper on the blue beam thing. We opened up with Tesla and stuff, but this is where I want to start talking about HARP. I want to talk about ionosphere. The ionosphere, okay?
All the weird stuff going on right now as far as atmosphere.
Yeah, well, especially with this aurora borealis thing you guys were talking about, that's a very, very significant part of it that nobody really likes to talk about. We hear people talking about weather and all that
modification.
stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Nancy,
You know.
real quick, check your microphone to make sure it's not on auto adjust, because while you were talking before, it seemed like you would lose sound and then it would come right back up again, I guess, when you got onto it.
Okay, so let me key in on a little ancient Chinese doggy secret. My puppy chewed on the top of my microphone this afternoon. So I have a microphone in front of my mouth that's got all sorts of little bite marks in it. So I didn't have time to replace it before we went on air. So I'm like, okay, it's just it works.
I don't think that's it. It doesn't sound like that's the problem. It sounds like you have the auto. When Teams when you update it or whatever, it's reset itself to auto adjust.
Okay.
Excellent.
And that happens.
So what do you think so far, GB? You like this?
Oh, I love you guys.
You're amazing. Everybody says that.
Now Roger's going to bring in Mr. Robot next week to be on Teams for the very first time.
He won't do it. You can't get him on Microsoft.
I met Mr. Robot.
Yes. Jiva, I believe, did meet Mr. Robot, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes. Now he actually impressed Mr. Robot, dude. Just to let everybody know, I'm
impressed, Mr. Robot, because he doesn't use Microsoft.
Jiva.
Nancy, another thing too. Have Raph take a look at what John put in his Minds. He posted on Minds. Okay, for tomorrow's show, if he can come on tomorrow.
But see, on the brighter side.
Sorry, my dog's.
On the brighter side, we're causing Mr. Robot to drool at the mouth because he has to listen to us, and every time he does, he comes on chat and he puts a lot of cool stuff in chat. And I just ignore him because that's my.
Yeah, I do too.
Mr. Robot.
I like that guy.
Well, my co-host will tell you how much I hate Microsoft. So I am very much in awe of you.
I'm with you. I use Microsoft, but I hate Microsoft.
Yep.
You would be actually astounded what I'm done to my operating system, the way I do things. Well, I'm an IT guy in my actual profession, so everything is stripped down to the bare minimum, basically.
Actually, I run 3 different. I have an Alienware system. I do IT. I don't do IT. I do cybersecurity. So I actually have my system stripped into 4 different partitions, so I can run with the rest of the world. That's the one I'm on right now. I've got
wait. So you're doing cybersecurity?
Yes.
It's like your.
That's my profession. I'm actually a certified ethical hacker. I'm a certified industry professional. And I am a OC
my
level.
God.
Anyways, MC, do me a big favor and give shout-outs to everybody over in D-Live for us. I know you're in the D-Live chat. If you would, please. There's so many of them over there, and I know you know most of them. And I can't pronounce all their names.
We got about 16 over here. AMF, what's happening, brother man? Svetlana in the house. Let's see, who else do we got here? Didgeridoo in the house. Everybody over here, CDXX, T. Luke. What's happening, T. Luke? Good to see you, brother. And thank you, everybody, for stopping in at D-Live. Yes.
Along with Angry Mouthy Freak, or whoever that is.
Yeah, awesome.
That's AMF. Yeah,
AMF?
Man.
All
AMF.
right.
I know them for years.
All right.
Great dude.
You guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys. And T. Luke is still in there, too, I believe.
MC, next time you say his name, you say Angry Mouthing. Just say the full name, dude. That is just awesome as heck, dude.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm forgetting what it is now. What is it? Angry Mouthy Freak? Yeah, that's right.
Angry that is awesome.
Anyways.
Yeah, he rides a motorcycle, he tattooed.
You about ready there, Roger?
Yes, I am. Do
Okay, because we got 30 seconds.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Oh, and you all die and get real super quiet. All right.
Well, you said 30 seconds.
But that doesn't mean anything. Come on. You know,
okay,
I'm just letting you know that it's a warning.
Well, I get scared when I hear 30
Now, when I
seconds.
say this is your countdown, like right now, this is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And you are live and on the radio side right now.
Imagine beams of energy from Earth into the sky, bending particles, altering winds, even producing pulses like those seen in Tunguska. Could the human hand have met the forces of nature's here? Now, whenever we talk about this stuff, what the most important thing for us to discuss is HARP. Now, when we've been talking Tunguska, now we move on to HARP. HARP's high-frequency array in Alaska can beam energy into the ionosphere, heating it up and bending radio waves. While this is done for communication and research, the parallels of Tesla's ambitions are striking. In theory, if energy is focused enough, the sky itself could amplify these waves, creating disturbances far beyond what the experiments intend. With that, I want to open the discussion up to the panel, and I want to start it up with asking you guys what your thoughts are on how energy propagates through the ionosphere, for one. And then I also want to see what your thoughts are on natural versus artificial atmospheric phenomenons, as well as historical speculations that we've been having about Tesla and Tunguska. But I do want to bring up more on HARP now, and with that I want to kind of get into what Nancy has been discussing or trying to discuss on her show about Operation Bluebeam. And with that, I want to have Nancy kind of give a little bit on that one.
Do you want me to start with Bluebeam or HARP?
With what your thoughts are, especially on Bluebeam or HARP in concerns with Bluebeam, especially when it comes to like Aurora Borealis, which was what you guys were discussing just a little while ago, and like with HARP.
So first question you have to ask is, are your listeners familiar with Bluebeam and Serge Manasse and the entire supposed government project that's been apparent from what he told us was going on since the 70s. Now, Bluebeam is supposedly a master plan. And when I say master plan, I mean it's something that the blueprints of this were drawn up in the late 60s into the early 70s and added to and worked on, and were supposed to be executed by no later than 2030. And this is written. These are documents that Mr. Manasse actually presented to people in the 1990s. And honestly, he did lose his life over this. So it's one of those things. It's like Phil Schneider. When somebody comes out with information like this, and it's very fantastical, I have to tell you, at that time when it was released, because I remember when this was circulating, to give you all a background, I've been doing conspiracy type radio for a very long time, but I've been involved in this conspiracy community for a very long time. And Bluebeam is supposedly a holographic, I guess you could say, event that's going to be exhibited upon the entire planet. So no matter where you're at, you're going to be exposed to this holographic event. And depending on where you're at, it's going to be 100% structured to your area, your culture. And the targeting is religion. So supposedly we're going to be visited by an alien craft. Okay? This is the storyline that we've been told. It will be an alien visitation. The craft will be tremendous in size. There will be more than one. There are going to be visitors within these crafts are greatest religious icons, Jesus, Muhammad, all of these people, I mean, Buddha, the people or the religious icons that have, or the deities that have run cultures for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And they're going to basically give us a message that tells us that they're all one. And we need to all conform under the one religion, the one belief, the one order of the world. Okay, that is Bluebeam. And again, very fantastical in the 90s. People were like, oh, come on, that's crazy. Nobody has that kind of technology. Nobody could even hope to have that kind of technology. Well, yeah, we actually did, even in the 90s, have that kind of holographic technology. And that's what people don't understand. We've had holographic technology at a minimal since the 1940s, easily. Moving into the 90s, they already had, especially the military aspects of things, had already refined it to a means that we can't really grasp, because when we think of holographic, we think of what Hollywood shows us. Okay, it shows us these digitized images that you could put your hand through, and you could you definitely know it's not real. If anything, you'd say it was a ghost or this, or if you weren't exposed to it before, you would go to supernatural realms rather than say that's an actual person. These technologies have refined to the point where you could be having a conversation with somebody in front of you, swear to God that they're actually a person, and it's not. It's a hologram. Now, take that on top of the satellite arrays that we have, okay? Now, and I'm not, SpaceX added to it. I mean, we are literally there's a net around the entire planet of satellites that are capable of transmitting to each other as well as to the planet. We have multiple facilities on the planet that could be used. In fact, the 5G towers is when they started going up, I started saying, that's when I actually on my show started saying, guys, a little uncomfortable here, because that would allow for a really great relay for Bluebeam technology. Absolutely. They're setting something up. Not sure what yet, but they're setting something up. Then we have, of course, HAARP. Now, HAARP has been going for a long time. What does HAARP do? HAARP manipulates the atmosphere in a huge way. It allows for conductivity. It allows for the excitement of ions. It can control weather, but it can do more than that. It can displace things. It can cause seismic reactions, which, by the way, that is also part of Bluebeam, seismic activity. And all of this, again, goes back to religion, because they're using your religious values against you. Now, we have this 3-eye atlas that has been discovered and is, coming at us at light speed, literally. And there's so many things that come out every day. I kind of laugh because I get updates every day on this object. And every day it's something new, fantastical thing about it. Oh, it's got metallic pieces to it that are not natural. Really, you can see that at that distance, because honest to God, you couldn't find a plane that went down, and that Malaysian Airlines plane. Yep, you still haven't found it, but you can see the metallic on this. Okay, I'm cool. I'm on board. Yep, got it. It's firing out from the front rather than the back. So in other words, they were trying to say it's a comet. Well, tail's in the wrong spot. For some reason, excuse the language, folks, the ass is in the face of the comet. That makes great sense. It works, really. Then you had the trajectory, which no way, it's natural if you're believing the commentary that you're being told. Because again, this is my problem with populations. We are subject to the commentary. You are subject to whatever commentary they want to tell you. So we're getting these updates and we're being told this is not natural. And you've actually got a Harvard scientist basically saying, panic, 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 stirring people up. Now, supposedly this thing is supposed to be here by early November. Okay. And look at everything else that's going on in the world right now. You have got major upheaval. Forget what happened with Charlie Kirk in the United States, which is, pretty much got people at each other's throats over here. And, they're talking civil war, although good luck with that. But again, it's not just here. France, you had a complete, pretty much toss-over of government in France in the last week. All this going on. Nepal, you had Nepal's entire government pretty much burned at the stake. Don't talk about that very much. You had Qatar hit by Israel. Again, instigating. You've got Russia supposedly making moves on Poland. But in the interim, you had Ukraine hitting Russia with drones. So all this activity is going, all this chaos, which again, by the way, was part of Blue Beam. If you read the Blue Beam plan, the world was gonna be stirred into this crazy chaos before this alien ship came in. But none of it was real. None of it was real. It was literally to fool and call the population. So, yeah, is it scary? Is HAARP utilized with this? Well, yeah, HAARP is a vast network. And you forget, this is another thing where, once again, you can call me the most distrustful person of any technology or government on the planet, because I am. And I have good reason to be. The fact is, they told us for years HAARP didn't exist. Oh, and then it was, it's a collegiate program. Really? Oh, that's a really well-funded collegiate program. Okay. And then it was, well, no, these facilities aren't HAARP. Oh, wait, HAARP's been shut down. No, it didn't exist, but we shut it down. Okay, thank you for that. And then suddenly it's not shut down. And it's just, there's so much that doesn't make any sense. Then you involve NexRad radar, which is the newer levels of HAARP. They're using NexRad, they're using microwave, they're using all these frequencies that don't just stir up the atmosphere, they stir up the planet. I mean, you cannot use these frequencies and not have seismic reaction from it. You cannot use these, and if you have seismic reaction, you're going to have volcanic reaction. Sorry, that's just the way it works. They go in sync. Not beyond that, you have human reaction to it. Why? Because humans react to these frequencies, whether we like it or not. It's part of our anatomy. We have magnetite in our brains. We are going to react to these frequencies. We were a migratory species at one point. So yes, are they setting us up for a blue beam? Oh, yeah. And especially now, because again, with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, what has that done? That has stirred up religious fervor in the United States. The one place where they were trying to drill the religion at everybody. Nope. Now you have drilled it right back in again, and unfortunately to an extremist level. Overseas, you've got the war between Israel and everybody else. That is a religious war. Is it or is it not? I mean, it is religion. That is what's fueling all of this. So what better time to try a last-ditch effort attempt for the powers that be that have controlled us for thousands of years to try to keep their control? Because that's also the other thing with Blue Beam. Blue Beam was supposed to be basically that last push by the powers that be to control everything, to get everybody united under one banner, call the people that don't want to cooperate, and basically keep us as a nice, controllable population. And you see it in so many different, I've said that, you've seen so many moves over the last couple of decades to try to bring the population levels down. And it always cracks me up because people say, we're overpopulated. The planet's overpopulated. It can't handle it. And I'm, again, I've lived in the United States for a long time. And yeah, our cities are stacking packs. They are crowded. And it is, I hate the cities. It is nasty. But I will also tell you, I have traveled this country by road. And I love doing that. And there are I can tell you, you go through Texas, drive through the state of Texas. You'll go for hours and hours and hours looking at nothing but trees
or New Mexico or Arizona.
Yep. Even Colorado. You get
so much space.
Florida, you drive through swamps for hours. Nothing. And then you literally think as you're going through these swamps, God, please don't let me break down. Please, for the love of everything, I do not want to break down out here because we're talking the hills have eyes. Oh, this is not a place I want.
A good video game.
But it's true. Most of our populations in
Plus
every
you got gators and all that stuff
snakes.
That's going to rip you apart at night. Oh, golly, yeah. Water moccasins where if you don't get to a hospital in 15 minutes, you could be dead.
Gators,
Don't forget about big cats, too.
In fact, I pushed a video the other day about a wild boar that got into somebody's house in Central Florida.
Yeah.
It just walked right in. And it was a giant sow. I mean, she was huge. And it's like a 400-pound boar. And those things are beyond vicious. Yeah,
if they charge you, you're done.
Yep.
Yeah. They're worse than other animals. Yeah, they're really
what I'm
bad.
saying is again, we've been lied to. You're being lied to. Most of the population is on the sea border areas of any country. People stay towards the water. I mean, even New York City is literally, Jason and I were talking about on the last show with 9/11, the fact that the seawall is right underneath where the towers are, because that area is under, it's below sea level. New Orleans, the party city of the country, it's in a giant basin. The whole freaking city is below sea level.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are our mass population areas. Why? And don't say it's for agriculture, because truly we have plenty of agricultural land there's nobody on it growing anything. It's just there.
The island of Manhattan sports the most expensive real estate in the world, I'm pretty sure. I know in the United States.
New York City also got a large agricultural area, especially in the north.
New York City? Maybe Central
No,
Park.
no, New York State. New York State.
Long
Upper
Island.
State, yes. Upper State is agricultural. You have a lot of apple orchards and everything in upstate New York. It's actually quite beautiful. Upstate is really pretty. But you still have
I've been to Blue Mountain and it was great.
Now, one thing I do want to ask you guys is, when it comes to HARP, though, when it comes to propagating energy propagation, basically, does anybody know exactly how HARP is supposed to do that with the ionosphere?
Well, the problem being
I could tell you. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go, Jason, because I was going to say HARP releases little tidbits, but just like anything else that is running under a national security type situation, you're not getting anywhere close to the information you need. A lot of what is found out is basically because they've moved a lot of their relays into populated areas. So people are questioning. Go ahead.
A lot of people think also that when they hear the word HARP, they think of Alaska, and that's all they think of. But that's not the only. That's where their main headquarters is. But they have one in Puerto Rico. They have other stations. But other than that, they have like pontoons that float with little mini HARP stations. They look like, the Epcot Center thing.
SBX1.
That's just to protect the equipment.
And 2. And then don't forget, back when I was in Panama, stationed in Panama, 87 to 91, 92, there were 127 of those HARP places, not just Alaska.
Floating ones.
And of course, that was just some of the ones that they told us. So, and how many, other countries have their own thing? Or is it ran by the Vatican under the table?
Well,
you can go online and search for images of these things, and they'll show you image after image after image of the mini HARPs floating around on these 2 pontoons, and they go all over the whole world, these mini HARP stations. I guess they can follow hurricanes, etc. I mean, they go all in the salt water wherever they can and want to go. So,
well, they also have their stationaries. I mean, because Antarctica is littered with it. I mean, HARP is all over Antarctica, and little stationary bases. And it's like, then you also have to, like I said, you have to look at. I always say, as above, so below. Such a telling expression, because it works in so many ways. It's not.
You got the one in Puerto Rico too, where so many hurricanes start right in Hurricane Alley there. So you got one in a hot, desolate, hurricane-producing area. Then you've got one in one of the coldest regions in the world, right sitting smack dab next to Russia.
Well,
don't forget. I have one right next to me in Fort Hood. What are you talking about?
We've got 1 minute before break. So everybody hold those thoughts, and we will be right back with more. So let's go on the break, and then we'll come back and. Do it.
All right, we're on radio break.
Okay.
Roger, you're just kicking ass.
Yeah, just
man.
say.
Tonight,
and
man.
now
Getting
it's
the
time for radio
breaks.
break. That's all you have to say, and boom, I'll go
I
right
think
into
he
it.
was trying to elongate it to get it to the, because I do that too. You try to like fill that minute.
Yeah, you don't have to. Don't worry about filling that minute.
I was waiting for communications between Mark Witosik and Dave Capione, but those two are like in their own like
we're
areas,
having
you know what I mean?
flashbacks to the original. But anyways, that's right.
Dave's on time, dude. I seen that 1 minute and I'm like, bam, I'm on it, dude. I was
you
like
better
a,
get
I was
on
like
it.
a
Yeah,
wolf.
if Dave puts a timer in there, you better be on it, because he don't play around. You know he's the assistant executive producer of the show.
Got that right. I'm the one that writes in the minutes.
That's right.
Now I got an important question to ask Jiva, and that is, have we scared you yet? Is your scientific?
I'm not that easily scared.
Well, I know that.
You know, it's funny too, because I do want to talk about Arecibo, Roger, because Arecibo plays into a lot of this, and Arecibo is the one place that got the signals, the two sets of signals now that we are aware of that came from supposedly deep space.
Yeah, but didn't that thing collapse?
It did collapse, but there's a whole facility underneath it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, if I wasn't being such a cool...
And I guarantee you, you know, what we see isn't all that's what's up. You know, they probably spread all the antennas the whole way around the damn island of Puerto Rico. You know, from San Juan to Ponce and
so many anomalies
and all of them.
If I wasn't being such a cool host, I would be like busting into some David Icke, God, you know, the one world religion, dude, where this is all supposed to create a holographic God that.
Yes.
Well, you know, we're on our last leg, so don't get too deep into something unless that's where you're going to take it the next show.
It's up to what you guys want to do, because I'm here giving it to the panel, and you guys talk about what you want to talk about. Just make sure you're respectful to one another and let each other finish their conversations.
My God, how long has it been since I've been looking for a host to take over the show that has that?
Yeah, but the harp didn't get all the publicity till Nick Bagish put out the book "Angels Don't Play This Harp," and that was in the early '90s. He brought it out.
But you start
hold on, Roger. One thing that you guys didn't talk about with harp that maybe you can touch on when we come back is the mind control aspect of it.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's we already talked about weather, and you know how you can beam stuff up and you know shoot stuff down and you know make earthquakes and stuff like that. But it was also speculated about mind control as well, and Jesse Ventura even did a special on that about that part of it.
If you're going to go that far back, then you're going to have to talk about the CIA and the Cold War, Russia's.
Oh yeah. You know that whole thing was built during that time, don't you know?
Yeah.
You guys are troublemakers. That's what I know.
To be honest, it's maybe not a coincidence, and I think Lyndon B. Johnson, I think, told somewhere in the 60s that
was he wearing a dress then or not? But anyways, 30 seconds.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you guys have to remember that's all V2K technology.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about mind control through frequency, which is what you're talking about, that is all what we call voice to skull or V2K technology. And that's what I was saying. It's been
all right.
around.
Look out, cats, dogs, and kids. Here's your countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Roger, you're live and on the air for the last time on the radio side right now.
Hello, everybody. And now we are back with the final push in the last part of this episode. Now, the thing that I want to mention is this. I want to mention HAARP's high frequency arrays in Alaska and how they can beam energies into the ionosphere. They can heat it up and they can bend radio waves. Now, I mentioned this earlier, and I said that they do say that this is for communications and research. Okay. But I've also done research on this myself, and I found out through the original patent that was made on HAARP in Texas back in the 1980s that it also has implications of mirroring aurora borealis to where it can create an image of an aurora borealis where it looks like it in every single way, but it's not that. It's just a mirror of one, you know. So I would love to talk about that and open it up and see what your guys' thoughts are on that. So with that, I'm going to open it up to the panel and leave it at that. So go for it, guys.
Well, that's kind of broad. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, again, you're talking about the ionospheric freaking, I guess you could say, aspect of their facilities and what it is actually capable of. Because I know they say it's conspiratorial when you talk about anything beyond it doing very localized things, because that is the one thing that HAARP always emphasizes about their research. It's very localized and it's very temporary. Does anybody here know how sound actually works, how frequencies actually work? Because every time they say it's very temporary, I start laughing. I can't help it.
Wait, Nancy, I will interrupt you.
Go.
Aurora borealis is not a phenomena that is like strange. But what you cannot do with artificial arrays, I guess, is to create auroras. Why? Especially the size of that we have in Antarctica, right? Why? Because you have to have a lot of energetic photons. You cannot generate those. You would need, like, it's not possible to do for humans inside of Earth. So
to see them in Miami is strange.
But
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, that's a rainbow effect. That's a rainbow effect that you are seeing if you're seeing it.
Okay,
well,
so
you guys do understand how much power can be generated from the ionosphere itself, right? Like it's
but
just
but Roger, do you think we can mimic solar wind type of energies?
That's kind of the question being asked right there. Yeah, well, you know what I mean?
You had China who created a fusion unit that literally is hotter than the sun. So when you ask these questions, are we capable? Oh, we're quite capable. But, and again, I'm going to point out the fact that we have a new type of aurora that's never been seen before that showed up in the last 20 years called Steve. That is actually the name of it. Steve, S-T-E-V-E. Real common name. And if you look at it, it is not normal in any way, shape, or form. And when it first started appearing, I know people shot it down real quick because everybody was saying, is that natural? Because it's not normal. And the normal, even what we're seeing now, the colors of the aurora they're different. They're much stronger, number one. They're much brighter than they've ever been. And the aurora is showing up in colors it should not be able to.
But then expanding on that thought, that then they should, whatever energy is beamed, it has to be done from space. You cannot do this internally from Earth.
Space. Supposedly, Ronald Reagan put a bunch of Star Wars freaking objects up in space that were.
You believe that? Do you really believe that?
I think it wasn't. I don't think it was nuclear warheads, but I think we have had things in space for a very long time. The Black Knight. We don't even know what that is.
Do you think they honored their agreements, though?
No, I don't think anybody honors their agreements. Are you kidding me?
Well, a lot of the Star Wars did go through because remember a large influence in that, and under Thatcher. So we saw well, we've got records of what we agreed with the US in relation to the Star Wars project.
I mean, you guys forget my dad. That's, I told y'all he was a DoD contractor, and he worked on the microchips for the space shuttle program. So NASA was part of my life. The Air Force was part of my life.
Well, now the
that was
Space
the one
Force.
thing
I
that
wonder
Reagan,
what's that all about.
That's right near me. In fact, it's very interesting because, Mark, just as a reference, John Bell sent me a video the other day of something he caught in his backyard. And I could probably post it into the chat. But there's a lot of activity where I live in the skies because we have the Space Force headquarters pretty much directly across from us, between us and NASA. And we can see the NASA launches from.
That was the one thing that Reagan wouldn't back down on when he and I guess it was Putin, whoever was in there, Gorbachev, I don't know who it was, but when we were talking about nuclear proliferation, and apparently we were this close to getting rid of like 80, however many % of our missiles, it was Reagan saying, no, we're keeping our, work with the Star Wars program, that broke the back of that whole deal. I mean, he really believed in it, as far as I understand. I didn't know anything about a deal or whatever.
Well, it was interesting because with Reagan, if you notice, he was kind of like Donald Trump. And when Donald Trump came into office, there were all these things that a lot of people have been asking for, and we still haven't seen. And I'm going to make note of that. And I'm a fan of Donald Trump, but I'm still going to say, we wanted to see an audit of our gold reserves. Still haven't seen that. We wanted.
Yeah, whatever happened to that? He hasn't even talked about it.
Because I'm pretty sure there are no gold reserves. I'm just going to be very honest with you. But I mean, we can't even give Germany back their gold. Hello. But I mean, there are things that, like when Reagan first came into office, he was gung ho. He was the guy that figured out the Iran hostage situation. Right? He was on fire. Then he gets almost assassinated. And literally right after that, everything he was working on kind of altered. It was really strange. Not really.
Baby Bush took over is what happened. That's why he got out in 4 years. He didn't even want an extra 4 years. I'm sorry, not Baby Bush, Papa Bush. Poppy Bush. He didn't even want an extra 4 years because he was in there for 6 years de facto under Reagan and then another 4 years as his own president.
And it was funny because, I'm going to point out the nicknames of both Bush and Bush Sr. when they were Skull and Bones, which was Gog and Magog. And if you go look those up, you're going to be a little disturbed by what they are. And that's not, again, that is not conspiracy. That is a matter of record. So it's there's a lot of functioning parts here that were not being shown and a lot of secrecy that is still to this day holding true. But I say to everybody, I see everything that's happening right now. You're seeing the acceleration of, and the interjection of NEXRAD radar into HARP. And NEXRAD is another thing that can do very much the same thing that the facilities up in Alaska can do. NEXRAD, that's why we're seeing the donut formations with storms now. You're seeing these weird donut formations before the storms form on the radars. And, the meteorologists are at a loss. No, you're not. They can't say it on air. These are not natural things. They're not. The aurora has not been natural. Whatever is going on, and I know they keep saying, the solar storms, and I know right now, very interestingly enough, we have a gigantic hole in the sun that has just rotated back into view, that it's been there since February. And this is unheard of. The coronal holes in the sun, they come, they go, they expand, they contract. They don't keep expanding and stay there, which is what's happened with this hole. And I will tell you guys, if your electronics over the next couple of days, especially like Tuesday this week, start really going nuts, it's because we have a huge solar wind coming in at us. And honestly, again, you have to base this all on whether or not it's true. I always preface that because, like I said, we're only as good as the information we're given. Do they have the abilities to mock these things, to to actually do this and make everybody believe. Yeah, they do. And to think they don't, that's where they've got us, because we're educated to believe they cannot do these things. This
But
is by
what
the
is the
science
end goal? What is the end goal?
confusion, chaos, so they can literally compress the population so it's controllable again.
But then think
Because it is
about
A one world government. That's the official,
Yep.
you know, that's the basis
True.
of it. A one world government. That's the
I agree with
end
you.
goal.
I agree with Nancy and you, Jason, but we have two new players basically, which is China and Russia. Do you think they are just lay low?
No, I think China
Oh
and
no,
Russia
they'll be part of the one
plans.
world government.
You think so,
see-
Jason, right?
Now, see, this is something that I actually wanted to emphasize because this is very important. It's not just a one world government; it's a one world religion.
Yup.
Okay,
That's
with
Bluebeam.
with this
That is-
with Bluebeam and the technology that HARP can provide, they can create a simulated God that will come down out of the heavens and say, I am here to deliver you from all your pain, and everybody will follow blindly. That's what the whole concept is about.
Right, because they have simple stupefied everybody again.
Right.
But my thing is that I think what you're seeing right now, all these things going on in the background, I think you're seeing a pushback. And this is my thing. I don't think Putin is in on the whole one world thing. I do not. I really do not. I really wish I could say that, because strategically speaking and geographically speaking, you know, we should be very concerned about Russia, but I don't see it that way. I'm like, I just think he's smarter than that. I think he doesn't want his people subjugated to that. And I don't think Xi Jinping is on board. I think China is on board. But I always tell people there's a big difference between Xi Jinping and China. You've got two different factions within China. You got the CCP, and then you've got the other, the other side. I said in the CCP, that's communism, and they have controlled everything for a long time.
But we are talking about 1/3 of a nation with 1.5 billion people that are communists. Well, not communists, in the party basically, are supporters directly. So we are talking a population larger than United States and Canada combined.
Correct. But mostly what? Dirt poor and not easy to actually to make. That's why everybody's gone to drones. That's why everything's gone technical in the battle.
True.
That's why
True.
I always say to people, this war will not be fought by soldiers. It's
Well,
not
then
being-
you know it
it's
doesn't
not
matter
being
if they're
announced.
dirt poor. Now they can just throw 100 crappy drones and 2 of them will hit.
And they've already tried to call
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you there, Nancy. Russia's been chucking troops at the. Russia's still been using the old World War II tactics of sending wave in after wave in after wave in troops,
Yes,
especially
you know why?
during the early days.
But do you know
of
why?
the war.
Because as an old hack,
And also why they've got North Korea involved, because they have more troops to throw.
no, it's kind of why our nuclear arsenals are still running off technology from the 1990s. As an old hack, I can tell you why. Because it's not penetrable. It's not penetrable. These young people cannot penetrate that type. It's because it's too old.
My point was that Ukraine has been playing clever, because they've been with the support of Britain, the EU, the US, and all the related countries. Because they've been getting financial support, they've been clever and been using drones. And but as far as Russia's concerned, they're still using relatively now old school sort of military tactics.
Yeah. Well, why would you throw your really advanced stuff at Ukraine where Ukraine can reverse the technology? You wouldn't. I'm telling you, if Russia wanted to crush Ukraine, they would have crushed them years ago.
Yeah, agreed.
Honestly. There's no, and they're not, I don't know why people keep thinking Ukraine is winning this war. They are not. They are not.
There are people that think that in the first place.
Yes, they're
That's what I was just thinking. Who thinks that? Who thinks that? I was just wondering.
guys think about it? Does our Congress or does our Congress not always want to throw money at Ukraine because they're winning? Is that not what they push to the
But
population?
I don't think they honestly believe that we're winning, that Ukraine's winning. They put on a front. That's their official narrative.
What
Ukraine
annoys
is
me?
winning because
Well, guys, come on. Let's stay
on.
on task. I mean, I really love having political discourse just as much as anybody else, but I really don't want this to turn into a political debate. You know what I mean, about who's got more power than what and things like that.
Oh no, I was just with Jiva. I was wondering who believed that.
It's the fact is that you have a swelling from a different end right now, and if you're really watching world events, you can see it.
This is
very
a
strange
big,
things
massive
happening.
conspiracy theory. Which,
Yes, it is.
I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of agree, but also, like, I'm usually a cynic, so
You have
I
to
don't
be,
know.
Right.
because
Do you think,
there's
Nancy
nothing.
and Jason and everybody, do you think that COVID was like a test run, part of the plan kind of thing?
Yes.
Well, yeah, they had something called Event 201 where they actually had a plan, a drill for it. People went home with little stuffed animal plushies that looked like the coronavirus. This was in October of 2019. It sounds funny, Mark, but they really did. Check out hashtag Event 201. And it's a trip. It really is.
That's why the United States is getting ready to issue a warrant for Anthony Fauci, because we have the connection.
Why do you think the UN pandemic treaty is being pushed so hard? Why countries like Britain have already signed up to it?
Yep. The United States didn't. Thank God Trump got back in office, because we would have been right under that too. But
who's the
didn't Biden? Let him off.
The thing that got me was like the World Health Organization right after the elections, they just immediately dropped all of their pressure that they were putting on all these countries. Like they were wanting to. Well, the ones they. Well, they backed out of a lot of their agreements that they had. Like maybe.
Well, the WHO though was funded mainly by who? Us.
Yeah.
I know it sounded really funny, but the United States did a lot of the funding there, and we did
Still
it.
is.
Why? Because it was our biolabs. And I've said that. I'm going to blame anybody for COVID. It's not China. China, we just used their labs. It was us. It was the United States. It was Canada. It was a U.S. bioweapon.
But the thing that baffles me is why China agreed in the first place. That's why I was skeptical at the Wuhan lab leak, because I was like, how China is on board with this? But it kind of makes sense if you think about it, because they were trying to cover it up with United States, which makes sense now.
China has not been our enemy since Obama was in office. And I keep saying that people forget when we had that major housing meltdown in 2006, 2007, and we had the stimulus and the omnibus in 2008, which were the massive bills passed to bail out these companies that got us in trouble. It was China that backed that financially.
So do you think programs like HARP could be shared as well? In the same manner.
Why do you think they did nothing about the balloons that were floating around the country? We had spy balloons from China floating around the continental United States, and they did nothing about it.
But hey, United States freaked out about balloons,
don't they?
Yep.
Well, we seen them freaking out though, Jiva. But what actually was taking place and what.
I mean, true.
Well,
yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like that could have all been just a big staging for the masses, so that everybody knows how concerned the United States is, because those foreign balloons were somewhere they weren't supposed to be. You know what I mean? So it could have all just been an act. I mean,
I always said that it's a movie. We are shown
That
a
was like
movie.
their version of the drones. That
It was entertaining. Not gonna lie, it was entertaining.
Actually, the balloons remind me of something that happened in Germany in '78. If anybody knows, there was a European pop song called 99 Red Balloons back in '82. And it was all about an incident during the Cold War when East and West Germany was split. In East Germany, there was a fair or something, and there was a load of balloons let off, and they all floated over the wall, and the rest, the east, the opposite side, actually considered that it was a coming up to, I don't know, nuclear war or something because of these balloons.
That's something else.
But again, we're taught, like I said, perception is everything. It's what builds societies. And when you can control a narrative and a perception, I've always said you don't know who your friends are, you don't know who your enemies are, because you don't know what backdoor deals have been done. You don't know. People don't know in the United States that part of the entire exchange with China was to put most of the mortgages held through the banking system in the United States in hock to China. You know, they're not clearly thinking, oh, China's the enemy. Really? Then why did George Bush Sr. have, maximized investments in China? Why did Hillary Clinton have maximized investments in China? You know,
Sean Penny went to school over here in the U.S. He's Western trained.
Correct.
To be fair, all of those elites, especially in political field, are jerking off each other like for decades.
See, we know the party's getting good whenever somebody says jerking off. So we have 2 minutes left, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to wrap this up. So we are going to have to start asking for socials. Now, before we get on to the legends of the Cafe Enigma, we're going to start with the new guy. We're going to ask you, Jiva, if you would like to give us your socials so that people could find out how to reach you.
Well, I'm actually antisocial. I don't use socials. But I do games. I make games. So I suggest you play games. They are weird and fun. So you're into that, you can check me out at jivapeira.itch.io. Yeah.
Okay.
Got some cool stuff there.
Yes, and he does, just to let you guys know. Okay, what about you, Nancy? Give us your socials.
You guys can find me on Facebook. I'm under Nancy Planeta. My name is really phonetic. It's Planet with an A on the end. Also, Wiccan Vixen will pull me up. Telegram, I am Wiccan Vixen. I'm in multiple channels. I actually run multiple channels equaling out to several thousand people. On X, you can find me as Rider on the Storm. Been on X for quite a long time. And like I said, you can always find me here on Teams in Vixen.
Okay. And now you, Jason, MC Dirty Work.
All right. You can find me at BitChute, Instagram, DLive, Rumble, or YouTube under MC_Dirty Work. That's MC_Dirty Work. And that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. live at DLive every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, Dave Capione.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook under David Champ, and you can also look on Amazon.com under my real name, David Campione, for my book, a little manual of the UFO Space Identification Manual with beautiful color photographs that were taken in the 60s of up close of flying saucers and none of this crap that we've been seeing for the past 50 years.
Okay. And you finally, Mark Edworthy, let everybody know how to find you.
Just one platform, and that's minds.com under the username Medworthy.
And give us your social, Sonia Galactic.
You can find me at my website under the contact. It's galacticfire.com, TEC instead of TIC.
All right, and you can find me everywhere. So just look on the internet and look for Roger Hansen or Gaming with Infamous or Infamous OG 1973. And with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for being here with us on the panel. You guys are amazing, and this was an awesome topic. And I would like to also thank everybody for watching. Now, before we go, I want to do a final wrap up and also kind of give you guys a little thing to think about. Okay, when it comes to this, when we have these discussions, it needs to be understood that there are a lot of insight that goes into this. People aren't just talking off the top of their heads. This is stuff that they've been discussing for years. So take that into consideration, do the research for yourself, most important, so remember that. That's something that's very important. Learn for yourself and don't let anybody else tell you what to think. So with that, I'm going to end this. I believe we are still going, aren't we? Mark?
Nope. We are out of here on the radio side, and we're going to lose connection here any second. So that's why I was like, hurry up, get, wrap it up, When we do, I am going to call us back on the same deal. And if everybody wants to hang up now, go ahead, and then I'll give you guys a call. And I'll still be here. And you keep it going for after show. And then I will edit while we do the after show.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Go ahead and hang up, and then I'll see you guys in a little bit. It's a couple seconds, I should say. All right. That was the end of the radio portion of Cafe Enigma. And as soon as I get this wrapped up on the radio side, I am going to give them both, all a real quick call back. And then I will start my edits for this and get it up and out. Hold on, folks. Let me give them a quick ring-a-ling because I had to. Oops. All right, Roger.
Oh yeah, there we go.
There we go. Everybody, let me get us back up on OBS so that folks can see us.
You guys are amazing. That was actually really, really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Sure was. All right. And I got that all cleaned and cleared out. I am going to edit. Keep it going, guys, while I do that. Want to tell us a little bit about your plans for next week?
Yeah, actually, next week is going to be really, really good because what I want to do is I want to go off of the first episode of In Search Of. It's called Other Voices. And that one is really, really interesting because Mark in the last episode wanted me to think of doing a video series. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the video series In Search Of Thanatos. I believe is what I called it. Thanatos, wasn't it?
No.
Or Thanatron.
Thanatron? Who the hell's Thanatron?
Dude, you should do Metatron. Metatron would be so freaking cool.
This is going to be...
At least he's not doing Megatron.
This is going to be really, really good, though, because, we just covered HARP, and we just covered the Siberian... the episode was called The Siberian Fireball.
I feel like I need to do my research before I do things like this.
I am gonna cut us off a few platforms. Goodbye, Facebook.
Now, if you want to do research,
goodbye, Telegram.
Go check out the first episode of In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy and watch it. You will love that video. Or first of all, you'll love that episode. Period.
Goodbye, party.
That is just awesome. That.
Yeah.
Roger,
when you
goodbye,
dropped
Twitch.
me the link, we're going to talk about Tunguska, like whatever. I was like, okay, sure, whatnot. But you guys were all
goodbye,
in.
YouTube.
I love it.
Yes. Well, Nancy's.
Especially Nancy, like